Greetings to all my tech heads out there in the KevTechify Nation, and if you're new here, welcome. In this episode, we're going to look at IPv6 multicast addresses. We'll be discussing assigned IPv6 multicast addresses, well-known IPv6 multicast addresses, and then we'll talk about solicited-node IPv6 multicast addresses. This episode is part of my series on Introduction to Networks for the CCNA. I'm Kevin here at KevTechify. Let's get this adventure started. For an assigned IPv6 multicast address, they start with FF00, and that's a /8 prefix. So all multicast addresses in IPv6 start with an FF00. There's two types of IPv6 multicast address. One is a well-known, and the other is a solicited-node. Multicast addresses can only be assigned as a destination. They can't be coming from a multicast address. They only can be going to a multicast address. So the destination, that's the multicast address. The source would be a unicast address. Who sent out that multicast address? For well-known IPv6 multicast addresses, they're assigned. They're reserved for a predefined group of computers. There are two types of IPv6 assigned multicast addresses. First one starts off with our FF002 : and then 1. That's an all nodes multicast. Every node, every device on your network, on your local area network, will receive that multicast group. The second one starts off with FF02, identifying it's a multicast address, but then it ends in : 2. This is the all routers multicast group. And what happens here is when you enable IPv6 unicast routing on a router, it automatically joins this all routers multicast group. The solicited-node IPv6 multicast, what happens here is it's similar to that all nodes multicast, but it's mapped to a special Ethernet multicast address. There are some special Ether multicast addresses out there. And what happens here is your Ethernet network interface card, it can look at the destination MAC address without having to send this up to the layer 3 to get processed by IPv6. And what happens here is you have one device, and this is our unicast address. The switch gets it and sends it out to all devices on that network except for the port it was received in on. And then each device, it can examine that solicited-node IPv6 multicast address. It can look at the Ethernet address and say, hey, is this intended for me? Nope, it's not my multicast. It's not for me. I don't have to listen to it. Another device does the same thing. Nope, it's not mine. But then the third one down here says, hey, that Ethernet NIC, that MAC address, that multicast MAC address, that's for me. I will then take it in and I will process it. It was my pleasure to provide you with this wonderful episode on IPv6 multicast addresses. If you like this episode and you got value out of it, please click that like button, give a 5-star rating, leave a comment. This all helps me bring you more great content. Please take a minute to subscribe to my channel. All of my socials and contact information are on my website, KevTechify.com. There you can find out how to get all these episodes in video and podcast form. In the upper right is my playlist for my series on Introduction to Networks for the CCNA. In the bottom right is one of my favorite videos that I picked just for you. Thank you so much for watching this episode on my series on Introduction to Networks for the CCNA. Once again, I'm Kevin. This is KevTechify. I'll see you next time for another great adventure.